Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reading for G-Dragon, Big Bang's G-Dragon. So yes, there had been some news about, him possibly being in negotiations whether to stay in YG or to go. There's like, I don't know if there had been updates about this matter, but I'm going to pull cards for him to see how he's doing, and also if this is like if what I'm seeing here has to do with this decision or possible decision, I'm going to say it. So yes, let's begin the reading. He got the card of Three of Pentacles, Two of Cups, the Judgment, King of Wands, Seven of Swords, and the Sun. And then from the Oracle, he got the card of Jupiter in Sagittarius, Principle. Honestly, I think that I don't know what is. Sorry, guys. I have some issues with my throat. I'm having a cold, so sorry if my cough interrupts the reading. I believe that probably I don't know what people think about the nature of what's going on, but honestly, I think that he's working very well in a sort of very like harmonious kind of like collaboration with YG about whether he stays or not, about this decision. I think that whether he decides to stay or leave, he does have a good a, a good connection, and also it could be a friendship as well with YG and probably everyone at YG. And this I'm talking about, about GD. I don't know about the rest, but I think that for him, he actually is not. He's not troubled. He's not angry. He's not like repressing himself, or he definitely wants a change, and he wants like there's something in the back of his mind that probably has been bothering him for a while, and he's like, I have to make a decision for myself. Like, I have to like really be individualistic in here and think about me. But honestly, I think that he is in the middle of negotiating with YG, and I think that he's doing this with a very harmonious kind of like really like working together towards a resolution. I think that definitely here it shows that when it comes to him, definitely the company is very willing to give him what he wants, to cooperate with him, to make him feel satisfied. I think that they definitely treasure him a lot. And they are like, we are open. Whatever you want from us, we will give it to you. If we have it available, we will give it to you. And I think that this is very important to say, because sometimes, we hear from other companies, we hear from other artists where there's this sense like, oh my, he he or she is leaving, the contract is finishing, so they are leaving. I hope they leave, and I hope that they do this, and I think that from what I'm getting in the cards, definitely there's not a sense of discomfort for him. Actually, I think that in his case, he was always treated like a king, literally like a king, very valuable, very like, very high up there. It's just that I think that for him, relationships are changing, and he's starting to acknowledge this. I don't know why there's this sense that probably he was a bit on denial for a while, about some work relationships, or some maybe the dynamic with the members, or maybe understanding that also the big bang members are in another stage. There's something about him thinking that they would stay together until the end. He had that dream, that aspiration, and probably he didn't react or he didn't say anything in the past because he was like, "Oh, we will get back together eventually." Um, and I think that they could, because actually I see him like looking at the past, but probably him feeling a bit like, since we have the judgment here, there's a sense of like reality check. There's something that he's like, oh, like, probably, probably, things are changing, and he has to face certain things about, um, about that relationships are changing. And for him, this is hard. This is hard because um, he definitely thinks about the group. He definitely thinks about the group. It's like, for him, it's like, wow, like, um, because he's willing to work together, to do a project together. He's thinking about it. But, the Three of Pentacles and the Two of Cups, about, this collaboration and everything, them putting efforts together. Um, These cards are more like in the past. Probably it had to do with a recent event. Recent events of them sharing together. Definitely, it doesn't matter what they work on; they will always be together. There's a sense of, um, like, I don't know how to say this, but I think that for GD, honestly, relationships are important. Like, relationships and connections. So this is what I want to say. It's like, from my perspective, he will always have a good relationship with the members and with the company. I don't see him like, like being in discussions, or being just, or I'm with the members, or I'm with the company. Like he doesn't have a feud with any of them. And actually, I think that, if I'm not mistaken, he has a moon in Libra. And this is what I'm getting the most. His very diplomatic self. He's trying to be diplomatic. He's not willing to sacrifice any kind of connection. Like probably he's the kind of guy that he's not going to talk bad about neither of the parts. He's like, he will always, like, if he leaves, he will try to live with a very, uh, you know with a very pleasant and nice interaction, because he's like, I have to keep, I don't know if it's keep appearances, but I think that for him, he's like, I have been working with these people for all these years, so I'm not going to talk bad about them. I have, and then he has the card, of the Oracle. He got the card of principles. So there's something about him sort of maintaining a sort of purity, I would say, in his mindset. He's like, even though I can feel that change is coming, I can feel that probably there's a lot of, because I see the Two of Cups and I see the Judgment. Definitely it can be that the people around him, that probably they used to be a group of friends, or they used to be a group at work, and that they used to be all together. All of a sudden, these people are having differences, and they are deciding to separate. They are deciding to go their way. They are deciding to break the association. There's a lot of like dissolution um, of agreements. There's a lot of separation in here. And he's looking at this. He's observing this from a very detached kind of way. He's looking as if he was above all this. He's like, interesting. Interesting that these people no longer work together. Interesting that these two are not talking to each other. Interesting that these two are angry at each other. But he's not judging them. He's just understanding that it's part of life. But I think that what is important here is to I want to take this feeling of like, even though there's people that probably that don't like each other or they just don't want to see each other's faces, I'm still going to continue these connections with these people. So um, so it's interesting because he separates himself, and also it's very meaningful that he got the card of principle. There's this sense of like, I'm keeping my own principle about what's going on. Like I do not get my feelings mixed about this. I care about all of them, like um as if he was like the king, the king of a community, that he's looking at his community like somehow separating or being some changes being done, and he's like, oh wow, look, this is happening. But I think that it also has to do that probably, like I mentioned at the beginning, there's a sense of him like looking at what's going on, but also him being a bit on the defense, not the defensive, he's not on the defensive, but him being a bit on denial about, why people are deciding to stay together, why others decide to separate, why others decide to walk away. There's this sense of like, um, like um, I think that it has to do, because I see him here as the king of wands, and it probably has to do with him being this king, this king of wands, that it has to do with actually him feeling uh, very appreciated, like somehow these scandals or disagreements or drama of other people, it didn't bother him, like he did find out, he is aware of the drama, he knows what's going on, but he is like above all that. At the same time, it seems like he's be kept in a sort of crystal box, but there's this sense of like, you know him having to make this decision for himself. With the Seven of Swords and the Sun, whatever he decides is to actually find his happiness, to connect with happiness again, But there's something in here that also, when I see this King of Wands looking at all the hard work and all the experiences of the past in YG, he's like, I cherish those moments too. In those moments, I was happy too. So if he decides to walk away, he decides to leave YG, he will not do it because he wants to leave something behind, not at all. It's more like he has to concentrate on his individual project. Probably, a lot of people are like, wishing for him to actually have his own company and everything. So it's like, okay, now I'm on my own, I have to think about myself. But he just has great relationships with everyone. So he feels like, I don't know if you're watching the Seven of Swords image in here. Is this person like sneakily walking away with five swords, like, I think that he's like, okay, I will remove myself from here, but I will go quietly because I don't want to disappoint anyone. There's this sense of like he he's like, oh, no, I don't want to hurt people's feelings if I leave. There's something about this. There's a lot of history, a lot of emotions. This is not easy for him. This is not easy. This is not like okay, like something happened and I feel the strong need to finish this and start over. Um, and also probably he's not in a rush as well. Maybe it's people that is I believe it's people or the audience that have this sort of like very strong need to for him to do something individual or for him to get out of YG or for him to, I don't know, do something with himself, with his image. I don't know if it's like releasing new music. People have this a lot of expectations on his figure, but actually he's a guy that he's trying to maintain a level of decency. Like also with the principle in here. He's like, I don't want to. Um, it's not that dramatic. I actually get along with everyone. Like he's very loved by everyone. I think that in this case, it's very different to probably the other members have a different view about the company or about what's going on with their careers. But for GD lives in another dimension. He is in another, in another state. Um, Honestly, like with the Seven of Swords, I see him, about um I don't know. I don't think he will walk away. There's something. He's feeling a bit nostalgic about everything that he went through or experienced in there. But definitely, he's also realizing and looking at it and being like, oh, okay, this was the past. Now it's different. So I have to acknowledge this, that things are no longer the same. Um, I think that whatever he decides, he's going to go for the offer that makes him more happy. And honestly, it's very interesting that in here there's no cards that talk about financial, you know, stability or the promise of a certain stability, like or a certain pros, I don't know, like abundance. I think that for him is more about principle. What do I do because I have principles. And he definitely wants to honor his past or his roots or where he comes from. But at the same time, with the Seven of Swords, he's like being sneaky at the same time. He's not a fool. He's like, okay, like, I have a strong attachment for this building or everything we went through. Like, I would stay, but I don't know. It depends on what you have to offer me. And honestly, what he wants is to connect with creativity again, to connect with his Leo self again, to connect with shining, to connect with his inner self, his inner child, being happy again, being joyous, being having fun, just drama free, just being innocent again in a sense, like somehow like choosing himself and also having fun creating. I think that probably for a while he had been very suppressed, like very repressed, because there had been drama. But he's the guy that he always tries to remain like neutral. This is why it's hard for me to actually read because I'm like I don't want to say like, oh, he's leaving or he's like staying, because definitely he has a strong attachment to the place because of what it represents to him. But there's also something in here with the judgment in the middle that is like, don't look so much at the past, because the past, is not the memories that you have of everything that you went through in there. There are people that are not in here anymore. It seems like he's seeing like ghosts or something like that, or he's replaying old memories in his head of something that is no longer there. So and it's very interesting how this King of Wands is looking at the past. So I think he's feeling nostalgic, and this is why he can be unpredictable in his decision. But honestly, I think he's just waiting for a good offer. And this is not about money, actually. This is more about like, okay, if what you give me to me, if what you give to me, if this new, um, if this new deal, it's interesting enough for me, or it's exciting enough for me, or it's something that will make me happy, I will take it and I will remain with you guys. I will not leave the company. But it's not, it's not, he's not stressed, he's not sad, he doesn't feel obligated, but he definitely has a strong attachment to the place. Uh, and he's a bit nostalgic. So yeah. Yeah, maybe we will have to wait a bit for him because I sense that he's going to flirt, like come and go a lot with different possibilities. But whatever he decides is going to be a blessing. It's going to be an exciting new stage, very sunny stage, very warm, very like he's going to get out of the of the darkness somehow, of the dark room. He's going to get out and just enjoy being alive, and being doing this. I think that he wants to connect so much with the craft again. He wants to connect with creating. He had been feeling very cold and isolated from everything that had been going on. But nevertheless, he's a guy that he's very much aware of what others went through. Um, he's not blind at what the other members are doing or what they are deciding to do. He knows all this and he appreciates them, but he remains apart. Like he probably he doesn't say anything, or he doesn't like omit an opinion, because he's like, I have my own principles and I'm not going to talk about it, or I'm just going to like somehow he wants, I don't know why he wants to be like a gentleman, about certain things. He's like, with my with my status, with what I represent, I prefer to, not engage in certain discussions that are against my principles. This is a guy that he takes it very seriously, honestly. Like, so yes, guys, this is all I have for him. I hope it made sense. This is all I got. I wish I could be a bit more like straightforward about this, but yeah, his energy is very much looking at the past right now, so probably he's thinking about that. But yeah, whatever decision he makes is going to be the happiest for him, the one that is going to make him feel more fulfilled. So yes, guys, this is all I have. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.